Welcome to Caw Prairie's moment of meditation and prayer. Thank you for joining us today. We're glad you're here. We're going to start today with a discussion about why we need to meditate, why this is so important. There's a reading I found from Max Lucado in Grace for the Moment. And the first verse that it comes up with is from James 4:8. It says, "Come near to God, and God will come near to you." Some of us have tried to have a daily quiet time and have not been successful. Others of us have had a hard time concentrating. And all of us are so busy. So rather than spend time with God, listening for His voice, we'll let others spend time with Him and then benefit from their experience. Let them tell us what God is saying. After all, isn't that why we pay preachers? If that's your approach, if your spiritual experiences are secondhand and not firsthand, I'd like to challenge you with this thought. Do you do that with other parts of your life? You don't do that with vacations. You don't do that with romance. You don't let someone eat on behalf of you, do you? There are certain things no one can do for you. And one of those is spending time with God, from Just Like Jesus. I read a book recently by Dinty Moore. It was called The Accidental Buddhist, and he spent the whole time trying to figure out how to meditate and how to focus. He talked a lot about monkey mind and how there's just always things in our life and we just can't shut them out. Many people believe that we can exercise and meditate, which we can, absolutely. But there are times we need to meditate that we can't step outside and take a walk. Maybe we're in our office. Maybe we're at school. There was a really great book on meditation that was a super simple read called Unplug, a simple guide to meditation for busy skeptics and modern soul seekers. I really like this. It was by Susie Yalof-Schwartz. And it just talked about how we need to exercise our brains, exercise and practice, just like we would with sports or some other skill that we're trying to learn. We need to learn to do it anytime, anywhere, at our best. So she states that if we can learn to come back to our breath when we get distracted, whether that's from somebody outside us or from the thoughts swirling in our head, that we can learn to be at peace no matter what is going on in our lives. So first, we have to sit to declutter, right? We've got to sit and just block everything out for a minute. Our goal in this is to hopefully sit for about 5 minutes. That's a good place to start. I recently read a book called Chair Time by Diane Sutherland, and he talks about spinning off our clutter. So the first thing we need to do is either write down everything that's spinning in our head. Maybe it's what we need to do today. Maybe it's getting groceries and our whole list of the things we need to do. Maybe it's all the things we're worried about. Maybe it's all the things that just are eating us away all the time. And maybe it's just some fluttery stuff that you don't know where it's coming from. But write it down, or you can spin it off by just thinking about it. Literally, as the thought comes into your head, let it visualize it spinning off into space. Another really great way that Schwartz suggested was pretending that you're putting it in a locker and then you're closing the door, or putting it in a box and closing the lid. So I ask you to find a comfortable place to sit. Decide if you're going to write down the clutter in your head and get rid of your monkey mind. And then we'll start a video that you can watch for a few minutes with some music. And when the music stops, we'll come back for a short prayer and send you off. So how did it go? My first time was a train wreck. I remember sitting in my house, the kids were off to school, I hadn't left for work yet, and the dishwasher turned on, and the garbage truck went by, and my dog started running out the door to chase something. But each time that happened, I just told myself to come back to my breath. And every time you do this, you're creating some memory in your brain that helps make it easier to help you get closer to the Spirit. My prayer for us today is that our Creator God can let His light fill us and help us let go of the chatter in our head. We thank God and the universe for this time of practice, just sitting and being present with the Spirit. We ask that the Spirit helps us declutter our brain so that He can fill us up with love and light so that we can share it with others and heal the world with the gifts that have been given to us. Amen.